Well, we've talked about our favorite movies of the year, and the only thing that people like to talk more about good movies is to shit on bad movies. And 2025 has no shortage of that. This could easily be a top 50 or bottom 50, however you want to look at it. 2025 has not been a great year, and while there's been some really good movies, there's just been a lot of mediocre bad movies to just plain awful. And as the year went on, I found myself kind of asking myself the question, why am I watching these movies? Going into them, you pretty much know, for the most part, if you're gonna like, hate, love a movie. There's really a few exceptions where I think you're, for the most part, pretty, surprised by what you get. And so I stopped going to some of these movies. I didn't go see Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I didn't see Strangers Chapter 2, I think. 3, who knows. But like some of these movies, I'm not putting myself through the misery of watching them. I knew I wasn't going to like them. I didn't watch Eden. There were so many bad movies that I just didn't need to watch them all, and especially not to make a list. Like I said in my, best movies of the year, this is going to be theatrical releases only. So the god-awful movies that you saw on streaming aren't going to be on my technical list, but I will mention them anyway because that's how freaking awful they were, along with some other dishonorable mentions from the movie theater that I saw, like Presence, Shadow Force, Honey Don't, Lilo and Stitch, Jurassic World, Rebirth, and the only thing that it rebirthed was my dislike for this franchise, and then topping it off with Kinda Pregnant, Electric State, and then War of the Worlds. Ugh. If I did include streaming, the top 5 would probably be streaming movies, and War of the Worlds would be right there at number 1. Wow. But anyway, let's not keep everybody waiting. All, 2 of you. So starting at number 10, we have Him. And Him was not it. Apart from the visuals and a really cool, premise, as the movie goes on, you just quickly learn that it has nothing of substance. It is a shallow, empty shell of a story and characters with a twist that would make your eyes roll so far back in your head they'd probably get stuck there. That was so stupid. Marlon Wayans he was cool though. I mean, the one good thing about the movie, apart from, like I said, the visuals, but the rest of everything else sucked so bad that Wayans couldn't. There was no way he was saving that movie. Coming in at number 9, 28 years later. Wow, it's got to be up there with one of the honestly greatest trailers of all time. I've never it was in one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I'm a recent fan of the 28 Days Weeks, franchise. And so when that trailer dropped, I was like, this looks like it's going to be like a top 5 movie. And then it comes out and it starts off okay. And it quickly just falls apart. This kid who has no experience in the, out in the wilderness, with these infected, all of a sudden can take his crazy ass mother and survive and find, Ray Fiennes, who's even crazier with his little bone temple. Oh my god. Don't even get me started about that ending. The freaking Power Rangers that came at the end. If that would have came out sooner, I would have walked the fuck out. And I never walk out. Anyway, let's just move on. Coming in at number 8, we have Snow White. And no, it's not higher up on my list because while I didn't hate Rachel Zegler as Snow White, I do recognize that she's not really a good actress. However, she can sing. She can sing really well. But she had 2 good scenes in the movie, as far as singing goes. Anything that involved acting just wasn't there. But her voice is there. But what really brought this movie down, apart from the horrible CGI from the dwarves, the fake Robin Hood and his merry men group that was absolutely forced into the story, is Gal Gadot, holy crap, she sucks. She is truly an awful actress. And how she's still getting these leading roles is a bit of a surprise. She's just not good. And you take, I mean, honestly, one of the most iconic villains in what Disney's animated history, and you ruined it. I mean, you just weren't right for this role at all. Anyway, I don't know. Stick to Fast and Furious because I'm sure they didn't they resurrect her. Anyway, let's not go on that. Coming in at number 7, Karate Kid Legends. So I know a lot of people probably are a fan of what's that stupid show called? Oh yeah, Cobra Kai. And I am not. Now it might have some cheese fun to it, but to me it's just cheese. And we have a kid who's teaching this retired boxer how to fight. And I'm just like, none of this is fun. Like none of it. The only time I actually laughed in the movie was when oh boy in the final fight grabbed his opponent and like yeeted him like 10 feet in the air. I was like, oh, boy's got superpowers, huh? But there's just nothing fun about this movie. There's nothing particularly memorable about it either, and that's pretty sad. We've just have fallen a pretty decent ways from the original. Now, granted, it's not the worst in the franchise, but it still sucks. And then coming at number 6, we have Minecraft. To be fair, I don't play the games. I don't think that should matter because if the point of your movie is to only put things in from the game without a story that makes any freaking sense, with some characters that are just annoying as shit, and your actual main characters don't do anything in the entire movie, and then you have that forced love story with I don't know, those weird looking piggy things, and then real life Mrs. Piggy. I was like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. Apart from it making a shit ton of money and making 6-year-olds happy, I don't really see the point of this movie. Starting off the worst 5 of the year, we're gonna go with Flight Risk. Now, Mark Wahlberg might have been slightly entertaining in the role, but it's only because he was so method that he decided to shave his head. A man with a full head of hair wanted to look like me. Why would you do that? So stupid. I mean, what? I mean, in the act, the main girl in the movie was just super stale. No real emotion. That ridiculous back and forth between her and the dude that was helping her on the radio try to fly the plane whenever they, took over from Wahlberg. I was just like, this is just some of the dumbest shit I've seen. And that came out at like the beginning of the year. And not much has, topped it in my opinion. You took a simple premise that could have been cool, but then, you're in this confined space and you did almost nothing with it. It's just lazy. Anyway. Coming at number 4 is Love Hurts. And here we have another guy that just goes to another 9-to-5 job. Everybody likes him at work, and he's this unsuspecting badass. And we have seen this so many times. It's played out, and this movie does absolutely nothing new or inventive, and other than trying to make it, like a Valentine's Day movie, and with probably one of the most unrealistic, love interests that I've seen in quite some time. I mean, nobody was buying that, right? I mean, I don't know a single person that was like, yeah, I bought them together. Like, no, never. It was never believable. Apart from, a few of his fight choreography, scene, I mean, there's really nothing of value here. And so it's completely forgettable. And I've forgotten about half of it already. Coming in at number 3, I Know What You Did Last Summer. To be fair, the original was a generic slasher movie in the first place, but the original had what this one certainly does not, and that's a good cast. I mean, nobody apart from Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt coming back. I mean, this cast just doesn't have it. The it factor. There's nobody interesting here. The writing makes no freaking sense. You're trying to tell me that, spoilers by the way, if you care, but I mean, Prince Jr.'s character just what goes crazy and becomes a murderer or an accomplice, however you want to freaking spin it. I was like, this it just didn't make any sense. But then, and I like a lot of these movies. What really just drives it over the edge is that freaking ending. And I'll be nice and I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it. But coming at number 2, Megan 2.0 seems fitting. I thought the first Megan was decent. It was pretty overhyped from a lot of people, acting like it was this great, horror movie, and it's just not. It's okay. So everything that the first Megan does, Megan 2.0, is like, nah, we're good. We're gonna go a complete other direction, and they decided to do what a lot of people have already coined it as trying to do the Terminator 2 effect, and it just doesn't work at all. And the biggest issue with Megan 2.0 is that it's freaking boring. Like it just there's nothing exciting about this movie at all. I mean, everything's just ugh, and that's one of the worst things you can do. Is be boring, and it's a completely forgettable movie. I had to like watch a trailer to like jog my memory about why I hated this movie so much. And I was like, yeah, that's why. So yeah, number 2, deserved. And then coming in at number 1 is a movie that was honestly one of the hardest movies of the year for me to sit through, and that's The Monkey. And I don't know who needs to tell Oscar Perkins this, but put the freaking pen down. Dude, you can't write. Like, you suck. You're a horrible writer. Like, you might be a decent director, with his last movie, 2 movies ago. I don't know. But with his movie, Long Legs, he showed that he's at least a good director. He knows how to frame things, and he can create tension and atmosphere in his movies. But The Monkey was just a just a mess from start to finish, and it just nothing meshes. It's a total clusterfuck, and it's just a story of like I didn't give a shit what happened to anybody in this movie. Not a single person. I didn't care, not even a little. And on top of that, like this movie couldn't decide whether it wanted to try to be scary or funny or something in between, and it failed at all of them. And this once again proves that the marketing for his movies is better than the actual movie. And this one was absolute dog shit. I hated everything about it. I never want to watch it again. Well, there you go. Those are my 10 worst movies of the year. Go ahead and drop your 10 in the comments, and let's compare. Let's see, how many shitty movies are out there. There's plenty to choose from, like I said. And as always, if you liked it, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until next time, take care.